listening to the questionnaire.
Say that again.
You're listening to the questionnaire.
I've just started. Right here, for your ears, for your eyes.
The questionnaire.
Get your comic on.
Poke it out, poke it out, poke it out, poke it out.
I owe you one. Yeah! That I do, ladies and gentlemen, because this is the questionnaire. This is the end of season 2. It is our season 2 finale. And for everyone out there that has supported this show by any means, I owe you one. I do. For all the great creators that have been on, I owe you one, right? But these five individuals made sure in the midst of everything that happened, this quest continued. And I appreciate it greatly. And I ain't gonna let him look, we got Dave Milburn, we got Scott Wojcik, we got Vladimir Popov, we got Shiro, we got Chrissy Wiseman, all in the house. And yeah, it's gonna turn into the roast of Factor. I didn't figure that out during the pre-show. So who wants to go first?
Go first on what?
Rock, paper, scissors.
Hi.
Oh my God.
Hey everyone. How are you doing?
I don't think I've actually met Vladimir. Vladimir, hi, it's very nice to meet you.
Wait. You've never met Vlad? That's where, why do you think the Serbian film...
Only in chat.
Why do you think the Serbian film bit runs so hard over here on the questionnaire, man? He's from Serbia.
Yeah. I heard there's a movie I'm supposed to watch.
No, don't. Look,
God.
Look, Vlad, hold on. Did you see?
Do it again.
What? No, okay, look, we're not going into it. But if you go look, if you go check the Instagram, Vlad, I'll send you this reel specifically, man, here once we wrap up tonight. But Dave was trying to bait me to ask that question to Olivia Briggs.
This is a free world, you know.
Yeah.
We're all adults, so people can ask questions.
She said she was into horror films, and Dave's like, "Oh, so you're into all horror films?" And yeah, as I said, I wasn't taking that bait. I messed with Joe Donahue enough about that. I really did. I completely messed with him enough about that film. We're gonna, unless I have you on and you want to have an in-depth discussion about it, Vlad, but at the same time, I don't think we should, because you're from Serbia and I don't want you to not be part of the show anymore or be doing comics because you're in what equates to their Alcatraz over there, you know what I mean?
Maybe I won't watch, no.
Vlad's in the Guantanamo Bay of Serbia.
And this was Vlad's last show. Hearing puking background. I'm okay. I looked at details of the movie because I was curious. Not gonna watch
No, I'm still here.
Why? Did you look up the details? Why, Chrissy?
Curiosity. That stuff about kids dying, I was like, nope.
Whatever.
Sometimes they gotta get.
Let's get back to the PG-13 comics. We just started the show.
Well, no. Look, we will here in a second, man. I'm going to start digging at all kinds of things, but I just got to say, I think it's funny.
That's a nice illustration, yes.
Heck yeah, man. Look, this is right here.
If
right
any
here.
kids are watching, look, Mario, distraction.
Yeah.
Woo!
Or look, we got this by Chrissy Wiseman, just added, of myself and my son.
Kevin Eastman's signature.
Nice.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Or you can catch me and my son, like I said, with this great illustration right here.
Looks nice.
We're gonna be reviewing. I'll tell you, Scott, we've been reading your comics.
Did the cover.
Yeah, we've been reading your comics, dude. Zero Bucks Time Machine. Me and the boy, he's been digging that.
Thanks, dude.
I think I'm curious. Well, I think I'm gonna read Uncanny Valley with him.
Yeah.
Dave, wait, what you think? I think it'd be a good one. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it would be fun. Gotta make sure you do the sound effects, do the boing and stuff like that, so yeah. I think that'd be a fun one.
Yeah. So I've been trying to figure out.
It's a little dark, but yeah, it'd be fun.
I mean, I don't think it's so dark, dude, but funnily enough, we were riding with my mom and she's like, "Yeah, I really like Mickey Mouse." And I was like, "Yeah, in this comic I'm reading, Uncanny Valley by Tony, they make Mickey Mouse the villain." And my boy was stuck. Mickey Mouse is a villain. Mickey Mouse is a villain, on repeat.
Oh,
You want to
you
see
should find a clip of Runaway Brain.
Dragon. I don't know if you've seen Savage Dragon for the last year, but Steamboat Willie has been in that. And he is not a good dude at all.
Oh man, the second Steamboat Willie came into the public domain. Oh my God.
I think it was that week he had that book come out. He was ready for it. He had locked and loaded, and Eric Larson.
About every single person indie horror comics / video games / movies /
I think it's with all those characters too.
Well, but I think Tony had the most interesting touch on it. You know what I mean? Like, is anybody reading Uncanny Valley besides me?
I'm 2 issues behind.
No.
The last one I saw was they were taking to the leader.
I know you ain't got no local comic book for you for like Shiro. You ain't got a local comic book store for what, like 100 miles, 1,000,000 miles? I don't know. It's just
you don't know the song.
What? Huh?
5,000.
See.
Just to be the no.
Shiro has to march to Mount Doom to find a comic book shop.
Yeah,
pretty much. Like I keep saying that the closest one is 6-hour drive away, but I'm in the province of Quebec. You know damn well all those comics are in French.
Right.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it, and I won't say it on
both English and French at the same time.
Fuck, I'm tired. Can you repeat that, David?
So they have to have the French and and English, on all the signs and everything. Do they have to do that in the book, or do they just say, "Hey, here's an English version, here's a French version"? Oh
no, the book is French. If they have English books, they're separate. It's not like one page French, the same page English there.
I didn't know if they were like separated the word balloons and like had them right below each other or something.
No,
gosh, that would be horrible.
When that happens, it's because the person actually forgot to translate it. I have a couple comics like that where they forgot to translate a complete word bubble. Like you're reading in French and suddenly it's like great handwriting, but it's in English.
Yeah.
Old Conans where they wrote in cursive. Now I can read cursive, but this is cursive on old paper with an old printer. So it's a big guessing game at this point.
They went fully authentic, because it's epic fantasy, so they made it like the epic fantasy cursive.
Oh,
yeah,
no,
on the epic fantasy newspaper quality paper, yeah.
Yeah, Shiro showed me some of those.
Full on experience.
They're. It's bad. It's bad.
Oh, I love the smell of old comics, though.
No, but I just mean the script.
The writing of Heritage comic, not so much.
Oh. Oh my gosh. But again, look, as I was saying before we started, and I did quickly say, man, I really want to thank you 5 for what you've contributed to help this show and being part of the madness that is this quest that I started about. I think it was about. It's almost 3 years now, right? When we initially had Matt Hawkins on, and myself and Scott just brought on Matthew Rosenberg for the quest that's going to end the season. And we got several pan cons. I hope you all have checked them out. They're phenomenal. But what I want to know from you 5, who's the guest that we've had on that you co-hosted that you were like, that was phenomenal? Pick one. Dave?
Steve.
Oh.
Kelly Thompson. Kelly Thompson for me. I mean, that was a and every time I pick up one of her books right now, I mean, Absolute Wonder Woman is my favorite book right now that I'm reading, and that includes knocking the G.I. Joe Transformer stuff out of the way. Absolute Wonder Woman is the best book in my most humble opinion, and she's killing it.
Do you know they're doing an Ultimate Flash?
Absolute Flash,
Absolute Flash,
Absolute Manhunter, Absolute Green Lantern. Yeah,
absolutely everything.
Yeah, I just
absolutely.
So they're like, let's do it all.
Yeah, because when we were talking to Matt, he was talking about the Absolute, and he'd already gotten to read the Absolute the Flash because it's by Jeff Lemire. And man, the more I run this show, the more I got to be like, hey, Dave.
Write it down. Just add it to my notes.
My
Yeah,
favorite has to be Dr. Stevel, just for the sheer fact that he held the show hostage.
What a douche.
Steve's hilarious.
He held it hostage for $1 million.
I will say that's the only person I've ever had hold the show hostage, right? Like sincerely, I was like, what kind of crap is this, man? You're just gonna be like, no, you ain't continuing the show. And then he's like, I was just waiting for you to start the show. And I was like, you ain't watched enough of the show. You know I ramble. Like endlessly. It's a problem. Right? How about you, Shiro?
Shiro at the same page. Shocking.
Jay rambling? What are the odds? I can't be the only one he keeps up until 1 a.m, right?
Oh no, I put my phone on. I go to bed.
I just ignore him.
Yeah, but I got the Catholic guilt, and I gotta stay up until he tires himself.
Firstly, at some point, at some point, I've had most of you up at some point in the past 4 months till around 4 a.m. But then it's a whole conversation we ain't having on the show, and we're not getting into all that. And Vlad's up till 4 or 1 a.m. all the freaking time. Every time he comes on the show, Vlad's up till 1 to 4 a.m. What are y'all complaining about? I don't know. So you're the champion of the late nights over here.
The early bird.
I got 4 kids, man, so I gotta figure out how to handle this kid I'm hosting with.
Yeah.
I got 2 elderly parents, and one whines a lot.
I got one dog.
Real quick. I'll be right back. I'm gonna still be able to hear. But Shiro, so who's your favorite co-hosting?
I don't know if he knows, but the audio is really garbled on my side. I think he asked me.
Yeah, yes, but who was your favorite co-host?
Yes,
no.
Oh, Dark Side, Kermit.
As soon as I finish a show, I kind of forget everything.
You ain't got one person you've guessed you've been on and co-hosted with that sticks out more than anybody?
Kevin Mellon, because it was really funny. And he blamed me for everything. Which honestly you should. I know how I am.
And we tried, like I said, we're doing our best to try and keep it PG over here during the actual quest. If you check the Patreon, that's a whole nother story, but you're paying for it, so whatever. It is what it is, y'all. All right. But man, Kevin on that PanCon killed me. Yeah, okay, I'll watch it, and then
Yeah, I'll watch my language, not 3 seconds later. Beep, 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 beep. I am
there we go.
YouTube friendly here.
if I edited that episode, it would sound something like this. Look at Batman, I'm telling you, he's the all right, he just needs to get it together. I don't know what is wrong with him.
Oh my god, that sounds hysterical, like a TikTok.
Yeah.
I like when they use the duck quacks.
Yeah.
Because that's funnier.
So, Kevin said he'd help edit it. So what I need to do is be like, all right, Kevin, I need you to put duck quacks every time you swear. And then 3 weeks later, he's going to get me the episode back because it's going to take a while.
We don't need that much anxiety in our lives.
Hey, no, that's what Kevin said he'd do it. I ain't doing it. I got other things to edit to make sure like this actually gets out before season 3 actually kicks off, right? So I can't. Yeah. So if Kevin wants to do it, I'm gonna send it to Kevin. He said he'd do it, and I love Kevin, man, great guy, right? So Vlad.
Well, I cannot pinpoint one person, but I can say 4 of them were really cool for me, like. Mike Martz, Mark Russell, Ryan Cady, and Erica Schultz. Those 4. So they're really cool. Yeah.
All great individuals and very, very, very talented creators. But I mean,
it's hard to pinpoint one because like they're all great and we had great conversations. So
yeah, y'all can't ask me this question because that's not fair.
We'll ask
And
you.
now
We'll
we
ask you
have
a
to ask
different
you the
question.
question.
Oh, great.
What was your favorite season?
My favorite season?
Yeah.
Well, there's only
Can't
been
be hard. It's only
2.
2.
I know. AC
Uh,
testing.
Here's a coin to flip.
Just say 2. Like second is
Just
better.
say
I mean,
two.
I would definitely say 2 because the show had grown a great amount. I think that it had developed. We brought in all of y'all as well as so many other great co-hosts in doing it that I think added a whole nother level to the show as far as with everything. And I think it just has continued to propel forward, which is definitely my goal in this. I hope anybody that watches this show is like, hey, that was dope. And I hope more than anything that, one, support the show, check out the Patreon, right? And two, they end up looking up the creators. But also real quick before we continue, also here a quick word from our sponsor, Studio Comics. All right. Yeah, and we're back. Check it out. And now there's only one left out of y'all 5, Scott.
That's a hard one because the plus is that I get to actually book these people, and that's also been kind of cool. Sent out a message to this guy and did not expect to hear back, and like within an hour I get a message back, yeah, I'll come on the show. To sit down and talk to Ross Ritchie was really cool. But my very first one was Michael Oeming. So I'm kind of weighing between the two. Both of them were really great interviews.
You can say both. I said 4 people.
Yeah.
Both
that's
is
true.
good. Both.
And even the one on Tuesday with Michael Rosenberg, it was fantastic too. That was really cool. So it was interesting, and to get to talk to those guys it just kind of opens the door for me, and I get I don't get to talk to those people most of the time, right? So it is kind of cool.
Yeah, see, that's can I say to that effect, I love one of my favorite things that's happened with this show is, and I've only probably really realized it fairly recently, is in running this show and doing everything as it's been done. There are people that are working together that didn't know one another except when they ran across one another on the questionnaire, which is dope. Like, I mean, honestly, I mean, I could sing, like, we're not going to sit here and say, I will. Like Chrissy, you're working with Robert. You know what I mean?
And Scott.
And Scott, yeah. So, and I got Alan's working with Hannibal. And I'm sure there's 1,000 other examples that I can't think of right now. I worked a lot today on my regular BS job. Support the Patreon. There's a link in the description.
That was
something.
I know Mike Ruth, and I work with Andrew, and I work with Jeff Burton and Alouette.
And yeah, I mean, it's just phenomenal, the network. Who wants to spider web who knows who for the questionnaire for me?
Please, one at a time.
And nobody.
Wait, what do we need to do?
Do it. Make like the whole like crazy detective. Dave done ran it off. He's like, I want no part of it.
I got comics to draw. I don't have time to set up one of those boards.
Hey, that crazy detective board where it's like this person knows this person, that person knows that person, this person knows that
guy,
person.
that meme.
I got one right there.
It's your job. Scott's it.
You already got the board, Scott. What's up?
That's my cereal box time machine board, man.
Oh, whatever, man. Whatever. Scott's not volunteering.
You can do that on your laptop. It's called Mind Map. You can grow it bigger.
I know. I like the physical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have the strings.
Yeah. See, there you go.
You have the strings and pins. Like connecting everything, like in
but then
TV shows when there are
string.
those people who are like preparing their things for other people, so they make lines.
Yep. I've got another one right here. You just can't see.
Okay.
Scott's the one that comes off the craziest, which I think is fun. Well, either that or it's me. I don't know. What is that?
Yeah,
That
right
one.
there.
Yes.
That one. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
one of
need
those
someone.
boards.
I need someone to do that for me.
I
For the
come off the
questionnaire.
craziest.
That way I can know who knows who when I'm like booking pan cons more than anything else. Because, not that in all honesty, though, like when I do that and it's people that don't know pan cons, it's phenomenal. Because like Fred and Kevin didn't know one another and now they're, linked up. So I think that's a great thing about the show. I think my brain is too tired. Just
I
move.
think if you look on Facebook and look at mutual friends, you can figure it out.
Yeah.
You want to talk about
Like 7 degrees of
The minimum required stalking.
That's kind of like
I like these
2015
long
type of
silent
stalking.
bouts after I say something, and Jay is like,
well, it's because I'm pretty sure I'm
Shiro
Is it-
definitely
is it
has
really
the best
called? Is it really
spam.
stalking anymore? Like, or is it just like a, more detailed browsing? Like it's
Yeah.
a common thing.
I'm
see,
pretty
YouTube
sure.
acceptable language.
Look, I'm pretty sure I'm already getting stalked on Facebook, okay, by someone, and I
And
don't.
who isn't? And who isn't
I-
actually? Who isn't?
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, that's
There-
probably fairly
it's-
true. Don't stalk
You're all
people
getting
on Facebook,
stalked?
y'all.
What the hell?
everybody's getting stalked on Facebook and socials by those employees that have like 3 letters in their company's names,
Absolutely.
which are all the same across everywhere in the world. Like,
Oh, I've been stalked by more than them.
Pretty sure there's a Canadian Mountie assigned to me. They said something stupid again, eh?
Yeah, but he's just bringing you maple syrup.
Yeah.
and I mean, like AI is stalking everybody. How they're gonna train? Like,
All I
those
know,
entities need to grow as well. Like they need to develop.
there's some FBI agent somewhere stalking me, and it's like he won't put the puppet away. All right, don't know what his problem is.
That's
Must be a new guy because an
that's
old guy would be used to it.
Muppet Palpatine.
May the force or may the dark side be with you.
Exactly. There's even a meme with that.
We know.
I know, man. Look, this is great playing for my boy. You don't even know. He's got me to the point where I'm doing so many voices. I'm like, man, I think I need to go into act or voice acting. Like, and we had several great voice actors on here giving great advice for that. But I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm trying
It's just another plate to spin there.
Because that's what you need. Yet another skill. You're an editor, you're an interviewer, and now you're Kermit.
Gotta be productive, It's
If it pays the bills.
But
But
it
it
is for our
works.
great Lord and Savior, the obscure fragment, so you're forgiven.
That's right.
secret talent.
Look, and I'll say it before. I've said it before, and I'll say it again and again and again. Regardless, I've met so many cool people running this show, running the questionnaire, man. All these quests, they've been phenomenal. That right there, that's still the coolest dude I know, right there, right? And hands down, I don't care if Ryan Reynolds comes on the questionnaire. I will tell him, look, no, dude, you're like second, all right? Sorry.
By the way, that's $200,000 to get him on the show.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So subscribe to the Patreon.
Yeah. I reached out.
We
and it's
200,000 people with
$200,000.
$1.
To bring who? Actually?
How long is that?
Ryan
Reynolds.
That's
Deadpool. Yeah.
3 minutes. I was
What's
gonna say, how long is that how long is that for?
1.5
200,000.
minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
1.5 minutes probably. Yeah.
5 words.
Hi,
It's like
bye.
the old 900 numbers. Yeah, $200,000 the first minute. $150,000 each additional minute after that.
Is
Yeah.
he saying it live or is it like pre-recorded and he's just pressing the voice comes out and he's just like
Oh, you're thinking about cameos.
Yeah. Yeah.
Imagine pre-recorded. hello, I am Ryan Reynolds.
I mean, you can get his stunt double for like, 75.
Yeah.
Oh, there's that dude that does the really good impersonations of him on TikTok. Just get him instead.
Yeah. And like put him
Here
a
comes
little
Ryan
bit in the
Reynolds.
back and like blur it a little and put a little bit of dark
Slowly.
light, and there you go. Nobody's gonna know.
No one's good.
Well, I will
So
say,
Ryan Reynolds would be like, that wasn't me.
I will say, if we're
The
talking
real
about
Ryan
that,
Reynolds would come and agree. Oh yes, I totally participated because that's what he does.
We should get
Give me
Peter
money.
on.
Yeah.
We should get Peter Poole on.
oh, I'd be down
Peter,
with that,
yeah,
man. But can I say,
yeah, he was.
somebody that I think is
We need Peter.
hilarious? We got booked coming up for season 3 here shortly, man. Is man, I can't remember what he goes by.
You should
So
try to
Scott,
get Patton Oswald.
oh, that would be
I think
phenomenal.
he
But
would-
look, Scott, give me what he goes by, man, because he don't go by Jay Clark. He goes by
Oh, the Elegant Weapon.
the Elegant Weapon. Yeah. Anybody in here know the Elegant
Yeah.
Weapon?
No.
How?
And Jay Clark.
And yeah, his name's Jay Clark, which is like freaking hilarious on a whole different. Nobody's seen this guy's videos. He has like the most extensive toy collection of lightsabers I think that exists on the planet.
Okay, that's probably why I never heard of him.
I think I know who you're talking
No.
Oh, I'm kind of surprised.
No,
you
I'm
haven't,
more
Dave.
in a Jedi robes section, so those two do not cross. So
I mean, I got Deanna Troy up there. Clearly, I'm not into Star Wars.
Why can't you be into both?
Yeah, I just finished the book and it got out, so I'm not into Star Wars.
Yeah, like you just, yeah, for real, Vlad. You ought to be
I
on
do
that,
have a
man.
Star
You
Wars
just
thing.
did a Star Wars book.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised though, Dave, more than anything, you don't know the guy that An Elegant Weapon, man, because that seems what he does seems like something that you would have heard of at the shop more than anything else.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
I'm
cannot
looking at
expect people from Star Wars fandom to know each other. Like, that's a huge fandom. Like, that's the biggest fandom in the world. So, you're kind of like.
Oh, well, I mean, that's fair. Yeah, I can only imagine how many people there are that create content that's Star Wars related.
Well, I joined 3 Facebook groups that cover almost like 300,000 people. Like, they're huge. Just 3 groups
Yeah.
on Facebook, random. Like, I clicked and I was like, one is like from Brazil or something, South America, and 2 are in US, but worldwide.
I
they're
love
still
that.
closer to you than a comic shop is to Shiro.
Yeah, only 1 click away.
Sure. I would like look. I want to move because like whatever to this state, I don't even want to get into that. But like I would definitely move. You ain't got a comic shop, but 6 hours. Like I mean, I already drive like an hour and a half to get to Mages. But thankfully I'm going up there to take my boy to his therapy and all that, and so it's fine. I'm already up there every week, like for a purpose. But man, 6 hours. That's
But soon it won't matter,
Yeah.
like Amazon's gonna deliver everything, so you're gonna get like your comics by drone. Zzz.
It's funny because my husband has suggested that we move to places, and every time he suggests we move somewhere, I look to see where the comic book shops are and where the conventions are, and I'm like, there's not shit anywhere near there. We're not doing it.
We're not going.
No, no, vetoed.
Yeah,
Mine's
I'm
like
6
15 minutes away.
from the store. So
I have one that's 20 minutes south, one that's 30 minutes north of comics conventions. Or no, actually, there's 2 comic shops in Altoona, and then there's one in State College that I know of. So I've got 3 comic book shops within an hour, and lots of conventions around
I
here
have
too.
at least that.
Like, I have a bookshop. I have a bookshop that has comics, but it is not a comic book shop.
Can
Lord,
they order stuff for you?
well, it depends if they feel like it. They're not
Yeah,
gonna order
paying
single
for
issues,
it.
that's for sure.
wow.
Like, I have a couple. What's that called? In a family. I don't know. I got a couple like hard copies of some Batmans, and I had ordered a specific one, and I was waiting on it for like 2 years, and on the third year, when I asked about it, they said, "Oh, the company closed down." Would have been nice to know that. Wouldn't have waited for nothing.
Well,
Wild.
since
Yeah,
we're
don't
talking about
super trust
companies
them.
closing
Another time I
down,
ordered a Sailor Moon book, and they sent me Sailor V, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna keep it.
since we're talking
what's-
about companies closing down, though,
Same author.
I want everybody's thoughts on how they think the industry will be affected. Well, Dave, I just want to ask you, because you're at that merchant level, and I think you're probably really seeing more than most everyone else. You think Diamond's gonna die?
Yeah.
There you go.
That was a quick X.
Yeah. I mean, they're really they're so we in the last month we've switched. If we can get a book from anyone else, we're getting it from someone else. So oh my God, let the hate out. No, yeah. So if we can get something from another distributor, we've done it. There's some groups that are actually banding together because they couldn't get Lunar, who does DC and Image, or Penguin Random House, who does Marvel, couldn't get any traction with them. So other groups are getting together. So like Massive is getting together with a couple other smaller publishers, and they're going to create their own sub-publishing group.
The indie one, yeah.
Yeah, indie, yeah, massive indies. Yeah.
So
Kind of
they're
like Image 2.0.
Coffin Comics, who does like Lady Death. It's very niche. We only get usually about 10 copies a month whenever that comes out. Well, no, that's not true. We get about 20 copies a month, but they're now just a direct market. So where we used to have 5 years ago, one spreadsheet we would do all our paperwork on and where we'd order from, and I'd get a big skid once a week that we'd go through. Now we're 4 to 5 companies that we have to reach out to get our books in. And they all coming in on UPS or FedEx now. Here's 2 boxes. Here's 2 boxes. So it's definitely changing how we do it.
Have you ever gotten comics directly from some of the creators?
No, typically not. We'll do like some Kickstarters with some guys. But typically it's goes through the bigger companies. If someone comes in and brings us something, maybe, but I'm not the guy to make those decisions at my store. I've got 2 other guys that do all the purchasing, and that's their money, so they get to choose how they spend it.
I'm just kind of surprised. Isn't it more expensive to go through a distributor anyway, because that's a middleman that you got to pay too?
We get a pretty hefty discount. When it was with Diamond, it was 40 to 50% off of cover price. And then when it switched to Lunar jumping in, those discounts got smaller, but we still get a substantial discount to buy them at wholesale, and then some at retail. A lot of the companies, so if someone's selling a $4 or $5 book and we're ordering it from them directly, they're probably going to charge us $3.50 to $4 for that book, and then we're going to have to charge $6 to $8 for that book to make it worth us having it on our shelves, and packing it and getting it ready for customers. Otherwise it's just we're not making any money off of it.
Well, let's throw this out there, and I want everyone's opinion, because I think if memory serves me properly, Kickstarter is now like the 4th or 5th biggest distributor of comic books, right? Like it's up there.
I'm sorry, you quirked on me.
It's Kickstarter. Kickstarter is like the 4th or 5th biggest distributor of comic books right now, right?
Kickstarter's not a distributor.
Yeah. Well, whatever. They're not. Okay, pardon my phrasing. It wasn't properly appropriated. Whatever. You know what I mean. they make a lot of comics through Kickstarter. They're like the
more like a producer.
Yeah, producer, whatever you want to call it, the middle, however you want to call it, because I know that's technically never what Kickstarter was actually initially set up for, but it's become that. What does everyone think the probability is that they become really a distributor of comics in that capacity based on? So now Dave says a hard no right off the bat. Fine, Dave.
No, it's a hard no from everyone.
No, they don't have anything to do with making anything. All they do is give you a platform to create it. They have no responsibility. That's the ultimate job.
It's basically it's how you fund your project, and they
Yeah.
make it so that people know about your project to give you money for the item, and then you can get it out to those people. But you're the one who has to figure out where you're going to get it produced.
Yeah, that's the
Parce que
greatest
c'est in Québec. Après ça, tu te démerdes.
thing. Other than
Wait,
give
but
people
don't they have like that separate department that helps with all of that, or that's a different platform?
Nope.
What about Zoom?
You can have companies that do your fulfillment for you. Like Kablam that does the printing of my comics. That's where I go. It's in Florida. They do have a program where they do help with Kickstarter distribution. So if you get your stuff printed through them, they'll actually help with distributing the comics to your backers. So, but I guess that's pretty much all Kablam does as the printer, is they do distribute and help with that too. So, but I don't think that they're going to be like trying to replace Diamond in any capacity.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
I
not
think
that.
the only company that can replace Diamond is Amazon.
Yeah, I'd agree with
That's a little scary.
That might even happen, you know.
But I mean, you got right now. We got our Marvel books from Penguin Random House this week, and it was the best packaged books I've ever gotten. Usually, we have a couple of scratch and dents, from whatever happening. We didn't have a single dinged book from Marvel, and there's times where at Diamond we'd have 20 or 30 copies of a single title destroyed because they just didn't know how to pack stuff. And people come in the next week and they're like, "Hey, where's my books?" I'm like, "We'll get them next week." We had to reorder them. So
well, that's irritating.
Oh,
Yeah.
super
Not a
irritating.
single quack was given that day.
So they're
Je fais
constantly
un effort.
proving to us why they're going down is because we're waiting on books that should have come out 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and then they're like, "Oh, well, we just don't have those." And we're like, "Well, why didn't you tell us?" Like, "Oh, we sent an email out," and we're like, "No, you didn't. We didn't get that email." Like, "Oh, we forgot to send it out. We were supposed to." Oh, cool.
Oh my God, and that's a whole company. I got ADHD and I'm better with my emails than that.
We're better over here at the questionnaire with emails than that, I'd like to think. Normally, you know what I'm saying? Between me and Scott, it gets that's annoying, man. I'll tell you what I think's funny though.
We're pretty quick on it. We're pretty quick on it.
Yeah, we try city questionnaires out, whatever, and that's a whole. And there's I would assume Dynamite's got a lot more people running it. You know what I mean? Like a lot. But I'll tell you the funny thing I think about the Penguin House is, correct me if I'm wrong, they just bought Boom, and they're distributing Marvel. That's
so
kind of
we
funny.
get Boom, we get Marvel, from them. The only one that we don't have, the next biggest one is Simon and Schuster. Is the next distributor we're trying to get from, because that's where all the manga comes from.
Yes.
And and if Diamond goes down, we got to find somebody to get our manga from, and we get a lot of manga. So we're probably the biggest location in Indianapolis for it anyway. But when we do have errors at Diamond, we can't call them until Thursday or Friday, because they don't have anyone there to answer the phones now. And it used to have someone we could call right away. Now it's a send an email, and maybe someone might get back to you that day when there's an error. So
like it.
So
Computer's beeping.
I still, you know what?
Simon's going to be here, and I don't think they'll be here 2 years from now.
That's you know, it's
Well,
funny.
the comic book scene is definitely going to change.
It'll
But I
change.
think
It'll
For sure.
survive.
Yeah.
I know. I think it'll always survive. But I think it's funny because Dave, you said your favorite interview was Kelly Thompson, which was a It's a phenomenal quest. Go back and check it out. It's there for y'all. We got into all kinds of things. She made me have to cut something out because she let something slip during the quest that she couldn't even say for like 2 to 3 freaking months. I had to sit on this clip, and if I was the kind of person that was like, let's just bleed it out, I could have just bled it out, like had an exclusive. But then I don't think Kelly would like me, and we probably
It was
wouldn't.
just, yeah. Could you imagine if she would have let it slip that she was going to be doing Absolute Wonder Woman? Oh my God! 'Cause she
I
probably
look
knew
if
about the
she'd have
same
let
time.
that slip, and said it, and it would have been said during the quest, I might have had to have been like, I mean, Kelly, you said it during the show, and I don't have time to edit all that. And I might have, I don't, that would have been a hard,
You're
that would
just
have been real
asking for a
hard to.
sternly worded letter there.
Yeah, it would have been real hard and the only reason, and like I said, I mean, there's been instances on the show with all of the creators we have on, and the show is very just, let's chat, let's chill, and there's no pressure. And if something is said, there's been several instances where I was like, fine, I'll edit that out, even though, it was newsworthy, or, oh my God, it was funny, or, this or that or whatever. At the same time, I love the comic book community. I love all these creators, and I don't want somebody getting their head bit off because they got relaxed and comfortable with the conversation, and then I don't want that to be they're like, oh, he got me so relaxed, I slipped up and said something, and then he just put it out, and like, I don't want to be that, like, because this isn't the questionnaire is not a comic book newscast. I'll say that. You know what I mean? It's not. I'm not here to be like, blah 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 blah. Check out all these current comics, Dave. You need to start, but whatever. You're like, you're gonna give me crap, but it's more to get to know the creators and get a bit. How many times you gonna duck out this interview, Dave? She's a freaking peak. Get into PanCon. Come on. It's the season finale. You're just gonna keep trying to run away. You know what? I would make your fit. Do you understand? All right, don't make me bust out. All right, dark. Yeah, look, man. I will use the force choke. Do not make me.
Oh my God, baby Yoda with baby Palpatine.
Oh, really? Really? You gotta whatever, man. I don't know.
Trying to Grogu your way out of it.
You're lucky. Look, I still want one that like I have a stick. I still want to kind of like split this and put a little stick on the hand. All right. I lost my point, man. I don't even know what I was talking about. Yeah. But no. Like I said, it's to get to know the creators and such. Yeah.
That was not the point you were looking for.
Seriously, you invite all of us in the same show and you expect to stay on point.
Firstly, what quest have any of you all ever been on that actually stayed on point and on topic the entire time? What are you talking about?
On topic.
Yeah,
Literally make it all time.
no, it's multiplied.
my first quest was always on point because I was making them.
Very good. Very good.
I was like, look, I'll bring it up when we had Tony Fleece on recently, who you can he's getting ready to write the thing. Well, I mean, he's already written it. It's getting ready to drop here shortly for Marvel, as well as, like I said, he writes Uncanny Valleys, as well as a number of other things. One of the final episodes of this particular season, he at one point was like in the segue back into the thing, and he goes, no, I don't know, something was said, and he's like, and about things, and I was like, yes. So he even he knew from being on the show as many times as Tony has. He's like, I gotta segue this dude back to the point because his brain is 3 train tracks with 50 trains running, and I don't know how they collide either for anybody out there, but they don't. I managed to make it to where 50 trains run on 3 tracks somehow. I don't know.
Just like somehow Palpatine Return, you made it.
No, we didn't. That was the worst line. Oh.
There we go.
Evil Kermit has terrible gas.
The line works, somehow he returns.
You gotta have that
Somehow.
smoke effect around them. Come on. When you ever see Palpatine show up and it's not just smoky for no reason.
Adult Swim Robot Chicken approves that.
You got a really tiny fog machine. That's what's going on. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I can magically generate smoke. All right, I got a bit of Constantine in me. Don't worry about it.
It's part-
We're
Yeah,
trying
everybody's-
really hard to be impressed.
We're taking it in, like it's a silent
We're-
moment
yeah,
for everybody.
Now, back
Between the
when we were
lines-
talking about the comic book industry, though,
Between
surviving
the
all
lines
of
is what
this,
it's important.
I don't think the comic book industry is going to be destroyed by this, honestly, because it's survived a lot throughout the years.
Yeah.
It survived Frederick Wortham and the Comics Code Authority, and then it survived the comics book burst in the 90s because they overprinted the books. So, you know, the comic industry will change and it'll shift drastically, but it's never going to be gone.
Absolutely correct.
Well, and that's the and this is conversation
Like a
we've had in
phoenix
past
keeps
class.
raising from its ashes.
Yeah.
Well, people love stories and they like to read, so and their digital platforms. I mean, global comics
still-
is booming.
Look, at my day job, one of the things I do is I inventory magazines, you know. And firstly, it is depressing to me the amount of look, Dave, if you threw out the amount of comic books that I have magazines since I've started this job, Eli would kill you. All right? He would
I can
literally
imagine.
not figuratively, bro. He would literally kill you if you threw away that amount of books. I'm talking like boxes every time I go into the store.
Sure, when it's on YouTube, we're not allowed to cuss, but threaten other people with death, yeah, no
I'm
problem.
not. I'm
YouTube's
saying
gonna let
Eli
that.
would kill him
I mean,
in
it's
that given
America after all,
situation
you
if
know.
he did that.
No boobs, but guns okay.
I don't know how Eli would do it. That's up to Eli, right? That's between him and Dave. But all I think
Thanos
is
snap him. That would.
every time I go into one of those
SPG.
stores, all I think is
Just no blood, no blood. You
Dave-
can die, but no blood.
Dave's got way more
Just
props
powder,
than
it's
I do.
fine.
I don't feel so
Probably
good.
playing Fortnite.
Oh, wrong finger.
But I would still
Trying to
love
get
to
the
see
finger.
like just the amount of magazines I throw away. I would love to see them because like every store I go into, they're like, we don't sell magazines. We don't sell magazines. We don't like none of these sell. I may sell like I asked the 3 people I was in at a Walgreens today, and they were like, yeah. In the entire time I've been here, like collectively, we probably sold like 5, and that was 3 people. They said in the entire time they've been there, they'd sold like 5 magazines between 3 different people that worked at this store, and they worked there like a couple of years respectively, and that's ridiculous. And all I think, screw those magazines. Nobody's buying them. The people that want to hear about that crap are going on some website somewhere, and unfortunately, they
Tom's giving all that information.
yeah. But if you put
Egon Spengler, print is dead.
yeah, well, but think if you put comic books there instead of magazines, if you put like Marvel and DC. Because I'll be real honest, that's the only thing you're probably ever going to get in a Walgreens and a CVS and places like that. Nothing against any other comics. I'm just saying, if you're going to deal with the big corporations, you're going to have to be one. I feel like you would have kids with their parents, and those kids would be like, oh, look, it's, Spider-Man or Wolverine or such and such, because they've seen the movies. And then you're getting your child to read, and any parent that says no, either one, you are really in a bind monetarily, or 2, you're just an a-hole because your kid's telling you they want to read and you're telling them no. I will. You see this?
Fun fact, that's how I got my first comic.
Yeah.
I got my first comic from the grocery store.
So when comics used to be sold at the grocery stores and the drugstores, I mean, you were talking, a spinner rack would hold every comic book that came out that month. So imagine, and they would have like maybe 2 or 3 months worth of that book on the shelf, on that spinner rack. I mean, Marvel, we have I think 120 Marvel books comes out each month. And you can't make space for that. So which ones are you going to choose? You're going to choose the Marvel, the X-Men, Avengers. Avengers has got 6 titles. Spider-Man's got 8. X-Men have got over 20 titles. So which books are you going to put on those shelves?
And how many DC titles comes up in a month?
DC is about half of that. DC's about 50 or 60.
But then there's like
An
10
Image?
Batman.
Pardon?
An Image?
Image is close to like probably 70 to 80. But they're also, you've got like Ghost Machine has got 6 books right now.
Yeah.
That's the Jeff Johns group. There's Spawn, the Spawniverse has got 6 to 8. Yes, the Energon universe, the G.I. Joe Transformers, that's 4 books. So I mean, each one of these guys have got their own little group, but yeah, you can't make space for all those comics in a.
I don't know if you see it, but this is the first comic that I ever got.
Turtles.
Is it Turtles? Oh, like the Saturday morning style Turtles.
It was the issue number 52 of the Archie Adventure series, Ninja Turtles Adventures. That was the first comic I ever got.
Do you still have it? Would you like to sell it?
I still have it, and no.
Well,
That is an
okay.
interesting question, though.
Yeah, you
I have
put
so many comics. I don't know which one counts as the first.
Well, and you put forward a very interesting point, Dave, that I honestly didn't think of in the conversations that I've had when I've talked to clerks and people that work at these stores. Because if you just cover Marvel and DC, it's upwards of 200 comics a month, and that hurts my brain a little. But at the same time, so let's say we start carrying
Bless
comics.
you.
Gesundheit.
This is one of my first.
Oh,
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, 1991, I think.
I have
got
that.
it. Or 1990. It's the cover looks a little bit like it survived several wars,
That just means
But-
it's loved.
but I'm not trading it with anything.
They're like
It's the
Batman.
movie
89,
adaptation of the Batman.
the movie. Is that the
Yeah,
movie?
the movie, the adaptation, yeah. But
Yeah.
all the pages are there still, yeah.
I have that. I have that
I'd
same
love to see
one.
a well-read book.
I don't know where my first comic is, but I do know where my most Maganay comic is.
It's one of the first.
If
It's
anybody
not
wants some
the
trauma,
first.
I got some here.
Why are you bringing trauma, Shiro? What the crap?
Looks fine right now.
oh, nice.
Oh
Yeah, nice.
no, I've
Oh,
Oh yeah. That was my first cartoon that I saw. Asterix.
I have a reading
Yeah.
copy. I'm keeping this one because it used to belong
Which
to
one is that? Which one is that? Is it the Gaul? Which is the first?
the Gaul.
Oh yeah, that's the first one.
that's beautiful.
I don't
Just
know
like
how
put
it's
it out
staying
and people
together.
like,
Oh, look,
Yeah.
that looks like my
And
uncle's
that's
leg.
also the old print cover. They changed those, I think, in later
because this
editions,
has
but that's
all,
the
like,
original, I
color
think.
errors. That's the
Yeah.
other reason why I'm keeping it.
And
this one-
Asterix looked kind of different in the first one. Around Tom 3, he got his look, but the first two were kind of different.
Well, it's not just that. In like these used to be in strips before they were put in albums, and
In two
it's
pieces,
known
like
for having in the beginning Caesar looks like this, except not blurry. And by the end of the book,
have you seen
Good
the
time.
original pages?
Bless you.
Thank
Those
you.
were
he looks like this.
yeah. Well, he changed. He was defining the characters in the first two volumes, and then after issue volume 3, actually they got locked in,
And then
and
the
then just
art style
small.
just got better by the years because
Yeah,
from what I just seen here, Like this album, if I'm not mistaken,
Well, after
was
30
printed
years,
in
I mean, you evolve your
73,
style.
but
Yeah, I would hope if
started
you haven't, if
61.
you've been doing comics for 30 years, and Dave, no comment. I don't want to hear it. I already heard the thought in your head from what I'm about to say. But if you don't improve in 30 years artistically from doing comics, like, I mean, I don't say it, Dave. Don't say it, Dave. Yeah, exactly.
He's just getting closer to the microphone.
Don't say what is like. Say it, man.
He was a better artist in '89 than he is now.
Who?
Rob
Dave.
Liefeld.
Oh, look, something
That
to
makes
change the
sense.
subject.
Rob's
He's
an
not
artist.
the only one. A lot of artists, when they go past their prime, when they stepped outside of the 50s, mid 50s, around the age of 55. Some make it to 60, but around 55 is the common thing when they're at their peak and they start going slowly down.
Yeah, Rob just stopped caring. He started putting more. He's like, I'm just gonna make the picture, or the whole page is gonna look really cool. But he forgot about like anatomy. He just stopped doing. He stopped doing hands any better.
I think that was actually bold. Like he was.
So are you saying he got worse at drawing feet?
Yeah. Well, he just stopped drawing them.
But if you think about it, like if we look at that Captain America illustration, the chest one, that one.
Oh yeah.
No matter how bizarre that illustration looked at the time when it came out, like he changed the paradigm. He moved the leverage. He opened the door for a new level of abstractions that nobody ever saw in comic books, especially superhero comics.
Yeah.
So he brought something new into the field, and people did not know how to respond to that because it was different. It was exaggeration to the whole next level, and
I feel like Todd McFarlane did a lot more of that though. Like when he was drawing the comics that they put him on, they were like, "Stop drawing these comics so well because they're starting to outsell our big hitters."
No. Todd developed Todd developed new elements to the comics. Like he designed new stuff that you haven't seen, so people continue to use that. But
like the way he drew the webbing for Spider-Man.
Yes, exactly. But Rob opened kind of like a visual style genre, like kind of something like when we see in a painting, like when you have like impressionism or cubism or abstractionism. So he kind of like went into that direction more
kind
than
of big guns, big tits, big pecs.
Cubism.
Yeah, exactly. He opened the door in that.
Is that supposed to be
manner.
called like titism? What is it?
Because when we look at Image Comics from after that in early 2000s and later on, we had those, like there were those comics that had those exaggerations and differences and everything. So maybe influenced by him, maybe not, but he freed some sort of spirit, and it's also iconic because that was Captain America. It wasn't Deadpool. It wasn't Wolverine. It was Captain America. So he symbolized in a bizarre way what Captain America symbolized across years. So he
I think you're talking about more like an impressionism in the art style where you knew what he was drawing, but even though the anatomy was off.
And like the freedom of art that Captain America represents as the icon for the other ideologies. So he put Captain America into art outside of art. So,
I mean, I never thought about that because it's like Captain America, keep it in your chest and keep your chest sturdy. You know what I mean? As far as a metaphor for that, there is that. I don't know if that's ever been
Just
discussed.
sturdy at 45 degrees at any time.
Yeah. But it was a shock.
It was.
All I know is, Shiro, you said titism. Yeah, you said titism, and part of me is like, I want to Google that and see what comes up. I don't recommend anybody Google that. I don't, but I'm just like,
scientific
oh
curiosity.
God. Just don't show it, Dave. I won't be able to put this episode up.
Ooh.
Dave's got to go now.
We're
See you
running out
guys.
of time.
Suddenly you hear.
That's
It's
Dave's
getting a bit
final
later,
exit from this
guys.
fan con because he Googled that.
We're all adult here, sadly. This is what happens.
Night is
even-
falling down. Time to shut down the lightning.
Oh, come on. You know it was funny, Jay.
Y'all ain't right, man. But then again, I mean, y'all would have to be to do and deal and all this. Yeah, because I don't know how else you would. Like, it amazes me sometimes where this has gone and will continue to go, in all sincerity,
Well-
with the questionnaire.
One thing, as somebody who's like overseas artist and who looks at the industry from across the pond, I think like everybody will see much more smaller underground comics, smaller stories like 48 pages, 20 pages, shorter things, because those will be easier and cheaper to produce, especially because when you don't have much room to storage comics, you have to tone down your production. And when you're an indie publisher, you gotta go a little wider. You gotta publish 10 books because two of those books are gonna lift off, and then they're gonna cover for the rest of the 8. But you're gonna get that diversity. But now, if you don't have enough storage to place those books, you gotta tone down the production, which means less cash for the companies, which means less cash for everybody. So you gotta tone down the stories, which means you gotta go in a different direction. So you cannot do 80 pages, Hollywood pitch, because Hollywood's burned out. So those stories don't go anymore. So you gotta change the story, you gotta change the pacing, you gotta change like the format. So it's gonna evolve in a different manner. And another thing that we all might see is that some publishers start importing European books because those are finished, so you gotta just print them, and especially French books, which are like 48 pages. So
those are great too.
Yeah, they are. And that's a whole different problem for the production in the States if they start importing French books, because the quality of those books is slightly higher than majority of American books. That's number one. And number two, you cannot produce that type of book on a monthly schedule. Like, typical contract for a French book of 48 pages is 6 months.
Yeah, that's true.
And I would be happy with that. I would be happy with Marvel and all these guys if they would. Don't hit me with but. Yeah, I mean they could, but they just won't.
Yeah,
I don't think they will.
It's still, even if you have even if a company would have the money to do that, like there would still be you cannot compensate time, because you cannot speed up. Even if you have the money to pay the people, you cannot speed up the production of the book. So it's definitely going to be something different if they go in that direction. So, but I don't think the comic books are going to die, and I think they're going to just go more digital, and then people will go like, you produce independently comic book issues, and then you go to the publisher and they do the trade, and people buy the trade because they want to have the collection. And this is something that's interesting. For example, for the Star Wars book that that just got out, the Qui-Gon book. I don't know if you got it in your shop.
Yes.
So, well, I checked the review because I was coloring that, and people loved the fact that it was a graphic novel, so they could binge it. It was a different format. The story was constructed differently, and they loved that more than single issues, for example. And that's Star Wars fans, so they were pleased. They were like the hardcore fans. So pleasing a Star Wars fan is a really difficult thing.
And yeah, these days everybody wants their media all at once. They want to get an entire season of a show and watch every single episode in one night.
Yeah.
They don't like waiting a week to see how the story resolves. They're impatient, and
also, if you go on a graphic novel format, you cut the room on a distribution for 4 books, so you can put more in a different format, more books on a comic book shop through the distribution, but it's going to be different volume, for example. It's going to be not going to be 22 pages, it's going to be 60 pages, for example. So you'll have like the same amount of monthly issues, but production is going to scale up. So in that way,
funny.
I see like that's going to survive in that way. So
that's a conversation we had with Jim Valentino when he came on, was the fact that, as he put it, the comic book industry is backwards in the fact that, like, if you look at book publishing, when they put a book out, it's a hardcover and then a soft cover, and then the whatever they call it, the cheapest version that's like $5 or $6. I can't honestly remember the name of what they call that in books because it's been a long
compendium.
No, for a book Scott.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they do hardcover and then they do a soft cover and then they do like the little, you know what I mean? Like, I can't look, it's escaping me. All right,
pocket edition.
Huh? Yeah, like a pocket edition. Yeah.
The small one, small books.
And with comics, they do
I can't get any smaller than this.
A trade, isn't it called a trade?
Well, no, but with comics, they do it completely backwards. You know, with comics, they go from the floppies to the soft cover trade typically, and then if that sells well, they do a hardcover. Yeah, like that. Yeah. That, Vlad. Thank you.
Was that a glitch in the Matrix there? Or?
What?
Because he disappeared and he just popped up on the screen.
He's Serbian, man. Don't worry about it. Sometimes it happens.
It's like a glitch in the Matrix there.
All right. But yeah, just like that. So it is the fact that the industry is
typist, and that's all I'm gonna say.
It's backwards in that, but I don't think. I don't think Marvel
history. I
don't think Marvel specifically will ever do that.
You just keep saying the same thing over and over again.
Well, no,
say it.
Well, but I'm just saying I don't think Marvel would ever go to that based on.
Just keep.
Huh? Man, are you stop with me? All right, Dave. But no, I'm just saying Marvel would never do that because it would make it to where they couldn't keep up to get content for the films. You know what I mean? But I do think for smaller publishers, I think the smaller the publisher, the more logical of a thought that is, in my opinion. It may have a positive effect. It may destroy things and go completely backwards, as Jim said, you know what I mean, initially. But I also think, like, the whole taking comics digitally, in my opinion, is kind of worrisome because I think it'll affect how much the creators get paid. I say this as a musician that has over 1,000 streams across all platforms. And look, I didn't get... All right, look, I should have got more money out of a million people listening to my music, and that's all I'm saying. All right, that's all I'm saying. And I'm afraid that if that happens to the comics, it'll have the same effect on creators and what they make out of the content that's put forth, and it'll end up going to the corporations that are the ones that are distributing it. You can hear, like, because we get into this we talk about streaming and its effects on society and entertainment. Dave, you were part of that, yeah.
Was.
And yeah, we heavily get into that as far as that. And I'm worried that if comics goes to a more streaming method like that, you'll see in comics a lot of what's happened to television. Because as Damien said, man, what streaming show, like really, how many streaming shows went beyond 2 seasons?
Yeah, most of them don't.
Yeah. But that's already happening, for example, in French books, because you have like a one shot of 48 pages and that's it, done.
Well, that's fine if that's the story, but I'm saying, like, what are you going to do if you try to do Spider-Man and the X-Men like that? You know what I mean? What does that do to those larger?
Well, they're not going to do that. Like, those are like mega corporations, so they have infinite amount of money for those.
That's not true. There's a lot of shows that they have like a lot of story to tell, and whatever platform has it, like Netflix will cancel the show before the 3rd season can get started, and they can't make the 3rd season because Netflix said no. Yeah. Even though they had more story to tell. And that happens to a lot of shows that get canceled and then they can't continue.
And that's what we did talk about that in the streaming, media discussion that should be coming out soon.
Man, this shows it's out before this is out. I'll tell you that much. Otherwise, I went backwards in something. Because this is supposed to be the season finale. This is supposed to be the very last show of this season. If I've got another PanCon coming up after this, I did something wrong.
But yeah, so shows that are being released, like once a week, like say, the new Daredevil series that just started, that's going to stay in people's minds, for weeks and keep people coming back for more for weeks. Whereas, Netflix says, hey, here's all of Arcane. Let's throw that all out in one weekend. Oh, we only had 6 million people watch it this first weekend. We were looking for 12 million. We're going to cancel it. But in a 4-week period, they had 24 million people watch it. But they're like, oh, too late. We already canceled it.
Yeah, Marvel made it as an event.
Yeah.
That you go and come back to it. And
let's kick it to something else. And I'm
just
curious.
throw it in a bullpen because they had like 10 other on a standby that they needed to put in, so they had to schedule.
Yep.
I just want to know everyone's thoughts on this, man, and I know you're about to. Because something else Damien said within that is based on how streaming is, you perhaps might not catch the nuances of actors because you're just consuming, and you're on to the next one. Now, let's say comics switches to where it's all on some kind of streaming and it's all being consumed digitally. Does that mean perhaps you won't catch the nuances within the art so much because you're just going on to the next book?
Well, it depends. Depends on the book. But that is already happening. I mean, like, Webtoons is a $1 billion company. So the Webtoon is almost like the same monetary value as DC. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if you go to digital, though, when you're doing comics, you have to format it in a different way that it fits on the phone. Because I know when I'm working on a comic and I'm showing those pages to the client that I'm working for, like I just did one for Robert, if I show him the page and I'm looking at it on my phone, it's like you got to zoom in to see the detail, and it's fuzzy. It doesn't have the detail that it would if I was looking at it on my computer screen or if I was looking at it on, the actual printed paper. And I'm just like, it looks so mushed on the phone, and I prefer, to touch it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a lot of the popular webtoons is kind of like quote unquote romance, but there's a lot of the one character in the front this close because they know they're going to be on a phone.
It's optimized, yeah.
Yeah, and they don't do a lot of really wide shots with a lot of detail because you can't cram that all on the phone.
And they just don't move a lot because they have to be pretty.
Well, it's a different format, but the point is that, like, people read it online, and it was like it's a huge company, like successful.
And DC has capitalized on that because DC's got the Batman family on Webtoons.
Yeah,
and they've
that's right.
And then they collect it and put it in a digital or a digest size, and it's in young adult age level, so it goes into our young adult readers section, and it sells like crazy because their kids are coming in, they're like, oh, I read that on Webtoons, and they grab it. And that's like what you were saying, Vlad, is probably going to be closer to what a lot of companies, if they're smart, they're going to start doing stuff like that. I mean,
smart, yeah,
Marvel's doing that.
Well, how else you gonna survive the production in the States without a backbone of distribution market?
Yeah. And I think you're already seeing it with they're minimizing the stories being told, right? You're getting 1 of 4, 2 of 4 issue series, and then that here's 4 books, this is the story, and boom, that's all they're selling, right?
Well,
you're seeing a lot of that.
Issues are a standard for the past 10 years so far.
Yeah.
I mean, the last long issue, the last long series that I worked on was ended in 2014 or 2015. Was when I worked for Boom Studios on Next Testament for Clive Barker and Hellraiser. Like Hellraiser was original was 20 issues, then they did another one for 12 issues, which I worked on, and then they did the Next Testament that was 12 issues, and everything else after that was like mini series of 4, maximum 5 issues. Very rare, few were 6 issues that some publishers were doing, except for Something's Killing the Children, that's like issue 50 now or something. But that's like one 500 different.
Hellraiser, for children.
And and after Vertigo, like the only big stories were like from Brian Wood, I think, for Dark Horse before they fired him. So it's declining.
Well,
But it's going to survive. It's evolving. But then again, that was because it was the Hollywood gold rush from 2012 to like the burnout.
Yeah.
It's funny, like when you mention that books are going to be 14
That's
to
my vision. That's
18.
like it's speculation, like a gambling.
It's funny because Eric Gawksberry that we just had on, Eric and I got chatting, and I've got like this mini series short stories that my son and I have been working on, and he wanted to make something that was very similar to like had that FNAF Benny and the Ink Machine type idea. So we sat down and we built this.
Real quick,
That's not horror.
Scott, you said FNAF.
Yep.
And it took me a minute. Scott means Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yes, Five
Go
Nights at
ahead.
Freddy's.
For all you guys who don't have kids,
Yeah.
just
Five Nights
Just everybody went, what's FNAF? Like, what the
Here's
crap is that?
another prediction. This is highly speculative one and highly optimistic one, but it's a short one. Some publisher, some editor, somebody from the indies is gonna go and pitch the idea to some billionaire who's gonna get nostalgic and say, you know what, here's like $50 million, let's develop it, like from Silicon Valley or something. Let's develop the brand new system and save the industry, and I'm gonna capitalize, and we're gonna read comics, and you guys are gonna survive. Because that's nothing to them. And maybe somebody who owns Lakers or Utah or some, NBA, NFL club is a fan of comic books.
Jocks and nerds don't mix, but I mean, who knows?
Yeah, but tech bros are nerds, so
I was gonna say something, but
LeBron James.
But no.
LeBron James is a huge comic fan.
The guy from Utah, he was pretty. I saw some interview with him, some billionaire guy who was pretty versatile in everything. So that's another way how the industry can be saved. Somebody comes in and builds a whole new system, brand new, and everybody gets to play in it, and they make more money than everybody.
Or as I told Kelly Thompson, you could just make minimum wage really, really livable to where everyone has extra income, and they would probably buy more comics.
That too.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, since Kickstarter started, a bunch of indie artists who never would have got a shot in the industry in the first place were able to pitch their own books, reach their own audience, and actually make money. And there's not very many comic book Kickstarters that fail. I mean, I think it's one of the #1 succeeding categories on Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Well, people want to read.
People like niche books.
Yeah.
I mean, people have enough disposable income to keep investing in these different Kickstarters. So, yeah.
And I'm trying to think, because there's also like the example of Erica Schultz, who initially started on Kickstarter. She ended up, The Deadliest Bouquet, and that got picked up by Image. And now she's the first female to ever write Spawn. And then there's Moonshine, Bigfoot Moonshine. Moonshine Bigfoot.
Coming soon.
Yes, from Image Comics. And that was ran initially on a Kickstarter, right? You can also go check out past quests with both of them. Erica's been on plenty of times, as well as co-hosting a couple times. But yeah, those are people that started on Kickstarter. And I mean, Erica's now working, I don't know, how many books is Erica writing for Marvel right now, Dave?
She's doing Laura Kinney, Wolverine, and I believe she's doing Daredevil, Woman Without Fear.
Yeah.
So, and then of course, she's got the
Rat City,
which is still going strong. So she's out there more. I'm sure. I just off the top of my head, not thinking of anything else right now.
Oh yeah, no, I know Erica's typically writing 4 or 5 books at a time.
But my point is, with the number of comic book Kickstarters that are successful it shows that people are hungry for this medium. People want to read comics.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the industry, it's going to change. It's going to shift. It's going to be hard on a lot of people, but it's always going to be there.
Yep.
I think that's a valid point. I think my brain is frankly done, y'all. I can't lie. Like my
I think
brain
we
is,
can wrap up on the
like
high note.
my
that
brain
the
is
industry
having
gonna
some
survive.
severe problems. So look, I want to ask. Eric asked me, because like y'all can go check out most of the pre-show questionnaires. I so need to update the Patreon. I'm working on it. Life's been lifing me real hard, right? But y'all can go still check out. There's a great deal of them over there as well, some before and after the quest, and it gets into some serious chicanery on that particular point. But one of the things Eric asked was, what is the point of the questionnaire? So I want to ask you five, as the five that, beyond my insane self, have put a good chunk into this and making it continue forth and be what it is. Right? What is the questionnaire to y'all? I'm going to start with you, Chrissy.
It's just a lot of fun. It's being able to talk with other creators. It's being able to, it's a bunch of like-minded people that like the same stuff. We're able to talk about it. And to me, that's just fun.
Shiro?
Same deal, different accent.
You
guys know that I live in the middle of flipping nowhere. So to actually get to talk to other people that not only like comics but work on comics, and then I can just fan gender all over. Like, oh my God, what software do you use? What story are you working on? What kind of paper do you print?
Yeah, I have learned so much about art tools in the running of this show, like things that I didn't know. Like I didn't retain it all, but there's so many things that I've seen that it's like, holy crap, that's a thing.
I get to repeat.
Yeah, look, not right now, because I won't retain it right now, Shiro. My brain, like I said, my brain is cooked from the day. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh,
right?
Even if you were in full energy, I can go on forever. This is a paint pen.
I know what a paint pen is. I'm not that inept.
You put paint in it and you get line art, and it's super cool, but it's hard to clean.
Vlad, how about you?
I think that it's a great educational channel for people to figure out, to learn about comics and to learn about lives of people who make them and who like them and who share them, because we are all behind in the offline, making in our caves the products and the books and the art and everything, and you don't get to see how that is being made. You don't get to see how people who are making it think and live and everything, and that's a nice momentum. It bridges actually the continent. Like there is a lot of us who are not on US soil, so people can get to see us and we get to see you guys, and it's bridging the gap, and it's cheaper than a convention.
And dude, can I say to that? Firstly, Dave, seriously, lucky. Come on, man. But whatever. We're not getting it. We're not doing that.
Flying to New York from Europe is not cheap. I mean, like it's like almost $2,000 for 5 days in New York.
But no,
in Montreal, from where I am, is not cheap. And if you knew where I was, you'd realize that's fucking ridiculous.
As far as the international, Vlad, I do love that, man. I mean, we've had people from so many different places, so many different countries. It amazes me. If I spoke Japanese, man, we'd try and work that. But like, I don't speak, like, I speak English and BS, and that's about it. So that's where we're gonna stick with the show. You know what I mean? I'm really fluent in both. Probably BS better than English, but that's neither here nor there. Now with a bit of BS, Scott, your thoughts on that?
Speaking of BS,
you speak English and bullshit at the same time.
Contemporary literature.
Does that kind of bilingual?
Whatever. Shiro made me realize half the time I have resting hip hop face, and I'm like, oh, that's the aura of get away from me.
I mean, you realize a lot of things about yourself, honey.
Also, we are also providing great material for people who want to study the profiles of people who are making art, like psychologists and sociologists and anthropologists and those like social science
And it could be like,
people.
these guys got some problems.
Yeah.
And that's
You
why we
know-
make comics.
Like,
We're
When
coping.
when you and Dave interviewed me on the second time I came on, Dave asked me why I got into this and why I started with Cereal Box. Cereal Box was something that I sat down with my kids. I created it with my kids. We went through the process all together, and it inspired them. And that's why I make comics, and this is why I'm on the show. It gives me an opportunity to inspire other kids, inspire even adults, right? And I think that is so important, because if I can inspire even just one of them to become a comic creator themselves, who knows, they might be, Jeff Johns or James Tinian or whatever.
You never know.
You never know. So that's why I'm on here, and that's what the questionnaire is all about.
and like I said, I know my boy's enjoying this right here. All right. Whoa! As I drop it, whatever, I'm gonna fling it.
Yeah.
I throw comics. Sorry, I know I wonder if there's ever been a collector that's seen me throw a book at this show and just been like, oh, it's like, no, dude, they're
Yeah,
stories.
I think we all do that kind of like a little when you do that, like
What, the fact that I just throw them?
Yeah.
yeah, like
Yeah, we all die a little inside.
Why?
Well, it's one of
Does
the
that-
reasons.
Wait.
there's always that question: does it hurt the comic book?
No,
Somebody
do you want to
please
know
think
why?
about the
Because the story is still there and intact for me to read. And that's the important part of the book. Right?
You don't
Dave.
want your books to have this
patina.
this fate, like
As long as I can read it. As long as
That's
it can be
history
enjoyed.
right there, man.
Yeah, no, as long as it can be
30
enjoyed for the
years,
story.
30 years. Maybe
Yeah,
even
as long
more.
as it can be enjoyed for the story. That's the important part, man. That's the part that historically and will help us as a society and a civilization more than anything. Somebody going,
Because the
ooh,
history
look.
has to be greased.
I mean, the first form of art was comic books, like cavemen do
Yeah,
the drawings
exactly.
in the cave, like telling
You know what I
stories
mean?
through art. So
So as long as
and
the
if they
story's
drop
it
that,
starts,
that
it
hurt.
goes, and it ends with
it's
comics.
if it's got a slight tear in it, I don't give a damn, right? And I'm saying that because I did throw a comic, and it was like a comic I got from Mages, and I threw it, and part of me was like, oh, that landed kind of up. Oh, all right, well, back to the show. And even that one kind of did have me like,
What if
I'm pretty
God
good
is
with
a comic book?
I'm
itself?
getting pretty good with my toss, though. You know what I mean? Like I can take it and just wing it, and it lands right up. Like my bed is right there. You know what I mean? So it's got a nice
Off panel, yeah.
yeah. So it's got a nice comfy spot to land on. I've gotten pretty good at flinging a comic and making it go. Getting that bullseye just right. Now with that, Dave, you
World domination.
I'm Iron Man.
Or just to have a good time.
Just never learn how.
You should have aimed
Playing
for the
for-
head.
Exactly. No, it started off with just, hey man, come in and talk about comics. And I was like, oh, twist my arm. Because I don't do that enough at work. I want to do it here too. So yeah, I love sharing my love for the comics with other people, and I hope that my love for it is infectious and other people can find joy in it as well.
firstly, I feel like that was a dig. Like I don't do that enough as work too. Like what was that? What was that, Dave? What's that? Huh?
No, I'm saying it's not like I'm exact opposite of Shiro. Shiro's like, this is her only outlet. And I'm like, I talk comics all day and I still come to these because I don't get enough time to talk about comics that are cool and, with smart people and, people that are
really-
interesting and in the industry, and yeah, it's really awesome. So yeah, it's great to talk with all of you, and I hope that people out there are enjoying looking at my face while I talk about it.
They listen on Spotify.
I wouldn't, but Spotify is fine.
Well, we all love looking at you on Spotify.
But
yeah.
actually,
Yeah,
you can get the
absolutely.
video on Spotify. Hopefully I'm going to be able to get everything updated to where all the Spotify is up to date here soon, because really right now you can only check the YouTube to be current and up to date on the questionnaire. I told you, man, life be life in me. Go support the Patreon. For real, it's only $2 a month, and the more you support it, the more I'll create dope content. I promise. And the more that life will hopefully stop lifing me so hard, because that's what it's about. Because I'm trying to make it to where everybody out there can learn more about these great creators. Because the conversations we've had, there have been so many different varieties that it amazes me. So many different creators have been on here as co-hosts, as guests, coming on for requests, coming on for PanCons, where we get into everything from streaming and its effects, the economy of superheroes. I can't even think of any off the top of my head. We're gonna get back to our D&D and start playing that again. I still gotta edit that episode too, Dave. Stop giving me crap about my editing, Dave. I will look, man, I will throw my boy at you next time. I will throw the obscure fragment at you next time I'm at the chat. See, you don't want that.
Take me out. You take me out.
That's right. That's what he does. Comes in like a wrecking ball. But like a legit one. And just
Then he's just holding his face like this and breathing creepily, and that's it.
He does that every time he talks to me.
Wait. I gotta say something.
Yeah, I got like 25 voiced mails like that.
I don't know what you're talking about. I get good morning, Scott.
I think Scott's the only one who's-
Dave, and then he calls me 3 different people's names at work while he's standing there talking to me. He's already said hi, Dave, and then he like grabs my arm and goes, Steve, and I'm like, I'm Dave.
No, he called you Scott
Hi,
recently.
Dave.
It was one evening. I was Scott. I was just Scott. Yes, that's Scott.
What can I say besides that is very much my son? You know what I mean? And he gets every bit of it, honestly. That's why you can go back through all those quests, and if you just watch the intro, you can see me butcher over the span of this show, probably at least 100 people's names, I'd say, at this point, in some way, shape, or form. I've butchered, but I know Fabian's name, but the next time he
It's
comes
part of the
on,
show, actually.
it really is. No, that's what I said. Next time I got Fabian on, I'm just butchering his last name for the absolute joy of it, even though I can pronounce it like pretty much on spot now. Because
Do
he's
you remember when you interviewed Davis Dewsbury, and before you hit record, you were like, "Yeah, but your name is Davis. I don't understand how people can mess that up. It's just Davis." Presses record. We have David Dewsbury here. Andrew, and you just did it.
That was so perfect.
like I said, my boy gets it honestly. What can I say, right? I want to let you know that. Yeah, he does,
words
man.
and things.
He does. Look, there's link. I'll tell you what right now, though. There are all kinds of links in this description, from the Patreon to Mages to Shiro, Chrissy, Scott, Vlad, all kinds of different things. There's a lot of links to click. I suggest you take the time and click them all, right? Learn about the people that help bring the quests to you, to where you can see all these interviews with everything from people that are creating indie comic books that sometimes, end up becoming Image comic books, to Cocaine Bears playing D&D with us, which is still wild that I can factually say that. It's really kind of weird to me, but whatever, right? Besides that, look, I just want y'all to do 3 things before I pass out on air, right? 1, give it that thumbs up. 2, always, and forever, get your comic on. Besides that, have a good night, y'all.
This has been the questionnaire.
Where's the link?
Thanks for checking out the questionnaire.
In the link below, yes?
I will drop it like it's hot.
That's another party.
It's cool, man. I love it.
The questionnaire. That is all.